Okay. Well, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening to find out more about Arbonne. As you may know, I'm a cabbie independent style or an independent cabbie stylist, and I met Arbonne and believe that it can work alongside my cabbie business. Um, with with Gabby, I travel all around the world, around the country, to different hostesses and meeting their friends and showing them our collection of beautiful clothing. Now I feel I can show them Arbonne as well. Having met Keely back end of 24, I started with just a couple of products, but as I've been learning more and more products, I just realized it's fabulous and it's replacing a lot of things in my kitchen and in my bathroom and on my dressing table. So it's just growing in our house. But the first thing I met with Keely was the protein shakes. She'd made some of these protein balls, which I'm rather partial to a snack, and they were really good. But when I go on my cabbie journeys early in the morning, it's fab because I can make a protein shake and take it with me. I also have in my thermos flask my little matcha tea with a slice of lemon, hot, and I will have had my green synergy. But I have to admit, I'm not very good with the powders, and I don't have the patience to stir. So I've got myself one of these whizzers, which is fab. Um, Also on the product side, well, as I said, I'm learning as I'm going, but the mascara is the latest one for me to discover, and it's just fantastic. I'm loving it. So I'm telling everybody about the few that I've met, few products that I've met, and already my business is infancy, but it's growing.
Excellent, thank you. So, and say it was an absolute delight. I remember you coming to me on the stand, and I did the balls, the energy balls, and I had the cake. And you was very impressed with both of those, and you said they would be the ideal snack. And Lottie actually won a prize for the breast cancer awareness, and it included all of the skincare as well. So she fell in love with those too. So so you was
I'm
very
not a
lucky,
lot.
wasn't you? You won the raffle. So anyway, thank you, Lottie. And you know, like Lottie, I had an introduction to the business. Oh wow! Well, nearly 3 years now. I think 3 years time flies so quickly. But the reason why I got the introduction, and in 2020, unfortunately, I was made strategically redundant from my corporate job that I'd been in with the same company for over 23 years. And I'm not going to lie, when I left the company, I suffered huge burnout, which I thought was because of the redundancy, but it turned out there was a whole lifetime of things I'd been doing since I was a wee child. And I was using the wheeler aim because of the Scots on the call. So, but yeah, as a young child, I'd been doing things. And over time, I started healing myself through sort of studying what was actually causing all of these things and the patterns that I was doing. And I recognised that actually the thing that I didn't want to do was go back into the corporate environment because, I mean, essentially overnight I'd lost my identity in that environment, and that had essentially been my plan A, my plan B, my plan C. I mean, it had been everything. And I thought that I had everything planned out. I didn't need to worry about my pension or my holidays or not redundancy, overtime or promotions or whatever it may be, because I thought that I had it all in this one organisation. And then, of course, boom, that had all gone, and everything I'd given to that company had been lost overnight, and I'd lost 23 years essentially of raising my kids, all for somebody else, and nothing to answer for it or show for it. So I was like, well, why do I want to go into something like that again? And I then recognised the thing that I did love whilst I was in there was the training and coaching and seeing people thrive and doing all the things that I love around people, is helping people. And that's where I then set up my own coaching and training business. And I had the luxury of meeting the beautiful Lorraine as a mentor alongside me at the Santander's leadership program. And not going to lie, we actually became good friends over a gin and tonic over Zoom. And she made a point of listening and listening to what had gone on in my life, my relationship with my husband, and some of the challenges that he had. And he's got lots of health issues. And it was at that point that Lorraine turned around and said, Keely, I hope don't mind me asking, but would you be open to sharing or trying some products that might help with your husband? It's not going to heal him, but because of all the medication it takes that affects his gut, this may actually help to support him and may improve, things like his sleep and other things with it. So obviously you do anything to help your loved ones, and I did try the products. And the beautiful thing is it's like a 90-day money back guarantee, so I wasn't going to lose out from it. So we tried it. The first thing we noticed is that he's now started growing and was just like cutting them constantly. But then his skin started improving. And the reason why we know that is because my girlfriend came in and she went, oh, your skin looks nice. Not me, but his skin. And they said, obviously started doing a bit of peacocking. And I could see some improvements already with him. And the next best thing was the fact that he had the herbal infusion and the inner calm, which helped with his sleep. So it went from 55% quality to 85% quality, which meant that his mental and physical recovery went up into 85% as well. And having had a husband that virtually catatonic almost most days because he was either exhausted and tired or his brain wasn't functioning, so I didn't know what I was waking up to. And for the first time since 2017 and before, we finally felt that we had a future that we could plan together. Because before that, I wasn't able to plan anything with him. I wasn't able to go anywhere because I didn't know what I was going to be waking up to. So for me, that was the game changer for me. And that was when I decided then that this would be perfect for my coaching business, because I've got one pillar that's all about re-injecting and vitality and energy in the body and feeling good and looking good outside. So I thought, well, what's not to lose? And it was then I discovered the succession plan that Lorraine is going to share later, but I was just like, this makes it even more fantastic, because it was that realisation that I can create a fantastic business without having to compromise me. So anyway, so that's about me and why I did it. And why Arbonne? Who is Arbonne? Well, Arbonne was initially, the dream of Peter Mock. And this was over 45 years ago. And obviously he wanted a place where people could flourish. But the reason that came about was that he is a scientist, or was a scientist, that worked in the skincare industry. And obviously when he got married, had babies, he was like, he couldn't understand why anybody would want to put these nasty chemicals on their skin, and he certainly didn't want to put it on his family. So that was when he then made a decision to go and research how he could develop botanical products which would actually help not only their families but others around them, but also help the planet at the same time. Because when you're not putting chemicals on products, it means that you're creating a healthier world to live in at the same time. And alongside that as well, he wanted to create a method or an approach that would then help others to be able to create an income. And the reason why that came about is because his mum worked lots of jobs. I mean, he had a good upbringing, but she worked multiple jobs, which meant that when she was with them, obviously she didn't have as much time as she would like. And he wanted to have a strategy that meant that other mums and other parents could be able to create some income, but without doing it in a flexible way, so they could spend more time with their family and be there for all the times that count and which were really important to them. and which is something quite magical. And so from there, he then created like obviously the botanical products, and then turned his dream alive. And it's been going for 45 years ever since. And that's one of the reasons why we love being a part of the company. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, what do we need more of in our lives? I mean, we do need to have more time, as we've already mentioned, have that flexibility in our lives to be able to work on our terms when we want, however we want, wherever we want. And, at the end of the day, we've got, a phone that's in our hands, we've got our laptops, social media at fingertips. We've got the luxury, especially right now, to be able to do this anywhere we want, however we want. And we can then at the same time, have that authenticity. We can build communities. I mean, the great thing is that we can go out and have coffee with people. We're listening to what they've got to say, and we're serving them at the same time. And we're not all rushed and frantic. And that's what the beautiful thing is about it. It opens up possibilities. It gives people hope. I was only talking about this today, that, there are many women. It seems to be a running theme with this company. Mothers with 4 children. I mean, everyone I speak to, except us. And I don't intend to have any more. I've got my 2, thank you very much. But, they've come from circumstances where they've got 4 kids. They might be single parents. They've got hardly a roof on their head. They didn't know where the next penny was coming from, but they've been able to create a business on their own. They've created that freedom themselves, and it's given them an opportunity and a life that they otherwise didn't think was possible. And it's given them the belief, and the belief comes from the fact that there's so much training, there's so much coaching, the leadership is excellent. I mean, it's way, way superior to what I used to have in my previous world, and I thought that was good. It helps people build their confidence. So people that were seemingly shy are now the most confident people that you can possibly imagine. So there's so many things that's absolutely fantastic about this business. One of the other things that I'm hugely, hugely proud of, especially coming from a recycling, paper and packaging industry, this company is a B certified corporation. And there's only 0.002% of companies globally that meet that standard. And the great thing about Arbonne, because of the mission that they were on, when it came to them actually applying for a B corporation, it meant that they was able to achieve it quite quickly. I think this was achieved in 2020. And, their ethos is all around the standards that come with it. So there are many companies that cannot achieve this, and they have to keep them going back over and over again to achieve that. And, they're all about not only the sustainability, the environment, but, they really, really have a commitment for real climate action. And I'm proud to be part of a business that's, offsetting like carbon neutral. They are a carbon neutral company, and they're offsetting the carbon emissions with everything they can to try and eliminate it downstreams. And I love that about them. So it means that I've moved from one recycling company, B Corporation, to another one, and I'm proud of that fact. So what makes Arbonne even better, it's not purely around it being a wellness business. They have over 400 products that are available. And not only do they have 400 products that are available, they're from baby to grave, hopefully not too close to grave. But the beautiful thing about it is that it's for inside and out. It's got, it's for skincare. You've got toothpaste, shampoos, conditioners, makeup, as Lottie has just said, gut health, proteins. For every need that you have, whether you're a sports person or really just someone just wants to make themselves look even better than they did before. What I know is my hair has improved 100% because my hair was always not very good. And why does it make it so good and healthy? It's because we have over 2,000 ingredients that are banned from our products. That compared to the EU, which is 1,800, and by the way, the US only have 18. And by the way, quite often, it's around about 12 to 14. So, spoiler alert for anyone that's buying products, when it has a green flag or a tick or a shield, that doesn't mean to say that it's a good product. What it says is it meets the criteria of the regulations with that country and the minimum requirements that are needed to achieve that. So, please be careful when you're making a decision about the purchase that you made. And, along the way, not only are we considering the people, we're considering the planet at the same time. And as we've mentioned, so we've got so many different ranges, and what I'm hugely, hugely excited about right now is the fact that the product that came out in Las Vegas last June and the US got straight away is that they've got a whole range of products that are for every season of a woman's life, from when they are first going into their menstrual cycle, through being perimenopausal, and also because of all of the challenges that women quite often get when it comes to things like UTIs and cystitis, thrush, and all those kind of things, and dryness, the things that we don't like as we get older, but unfortunately we do. And these products are helping to rebalance our hormones, and what it does is it adapts everything in a way. So it means that, say, the menopause, if you've got 9 of the symptoms that we quite often get, it helps to reduce the impact of it. And I'm hugely excited and proud of that. And another thing that I'm hugely proud about is the fact that as I've mentioned before, there's a 90-day money-back guarantee on it. So it doesn't matter whatever you try. If you buy some products, if you don't like the taste of it, it doesn't work for you, or maybe you have an allergy to something, because, by the way, anybody can have an allergy to anything, and that's why I love the fact that the ingredients are shown, and you can then research what that might be. But they will get 100% guarantee, will give you the money back. But what they also do is ask you questions about what is it that you experience, why that may have occurred, and how they can try to mitigate that in the future to let other people know that this is a possibility. I've only had one customer send back their products, and that was because they didn't tell us about a surgery that they'd had, and they should have spoken to their their surgeon or professional or whatever it was, doctor, and give them guidance and said, would this react? But as soon as we found out what it was, it then gets locked, and that's the fantastic thing about it. So I'm now going to pass over to the lovely Lorraine, and she's going to share with you what makes the difference between network marketing and retail, traditional businesses.
Thank you so much, Keely, and also Lottie. So you might not have ever thought of those differences, but obviously all products are manufactured, and then they usually go to the wholesaler where they sit around for a bit, and then they go to the warehouse where they sit around for a bit, and then the advertiser gets a hold of them and they play around with the idea of sharing them on TV or in magazines, and that comes at a high cost, probably 3/4 of the cost of the product. And then it goes to the retailer, maybe in a store where they've got sort of fancy carpets and flowers and fish tanks and all sorts, and someone selling you the products who maybe hasn't necessarily been in the industry that long, and that's fine. But then you, the customer, you might drive to get those products. You might jump on a bus or a tram or wear out your shoe leather walking to get those products. And here's the thing, you're probably only going to get a very small percentage of actual product and ingredients for your money. The rest has gone on all of those processes. Now, even if you buy it online, if they still have a store presence, you've still gone through those stages. However, when you're buying a product that goes via the network marketing process, which really just means word of mouth recommendation, of course it's manufactured, but it is then recommended by independent consultants like Lottie, Keely, myself, and others, men and women from the age of 18 to 80 and beyond, who share why they love the products, the benefits of the products, and they are the person who's going to look after you, make sure that you get the right products for you. And again, as Keely said, there's a 90-day money back guarantee. Now, we, the independent consultant, we do not hold stock. We don't drop products off to you. We use the fabulous DPD who give you a 1 hour time slot. And I love how it sometimes says 1:12 to 2:12, very precise, and a lovely man drops off your product. So it's a very clean and effective system. So we are cutting out a lot of the processes. But here's something that a lot of people don't think about. When something is in a store, it has to have anything from between 5 to 7 years worth of preservative. And that high level of sort of shelf life comes with a chemical preservative. So our preservative is blueberry and bilberry, and unopened our products last 2 years and once opened 6 months. So we can never be in a store because our phenomenal founder, Peter Mort, did not want to put that amount of preservative in a product because he knew it wasn't good for you. But not only that, apart from the cost of manufacturing, where the money that we're saving on the warehouse and the wholesaler and the advertiser and the retailer goes back into high-end quality ingredients with phenomenal botanical products with the best of green science technology. So our money is going back into the products rather than the process. And the only person that gets paid in the middle is the independent consultant who gets paid a commission every time you shop again and again, because they are there to serve you, give you phenomenal service and make sure that you're looked after. So, if you buy in a store, the chances are whoever you're buying from isn't necessarily going to benefit when you buy from them, even if they are great, because it's usually the store manager or owner that you don't know. So I think it's much nicer that someone who cares and you trust benefits. But again, the bulk of the money is going into the product. So as we move on, what I absolutely love about Arbonne is how it works. People want to know a few things when they're looking at this business. They want to know, how does it work? Can I see myself doing it? And is it worth my time financially? Well, it's a really simple business because what we do is we shop from our own shop using those products that we know are great value, high end, and we are an ultra prestige brand. And we shop from our own products, enjoying products at a bigger discount as a consultant. And then what we do is we share with others why we love the products, why we love the benefits. And every time we sell those products, we can get paid again and again and again a commission. But the thing is, we can also teach others how to do this business. We can teach them how they also can earn from sharing the things they love. So every time we recommend something and we share it and it turns into a sale, we get paid. But here's the thing, if we bring other people into the business, we get paid on hours that we're not doing. So if I do 10 hours in a week, and then if I find, teach and train another 9 people to do 10 hours in a week, there's 100 hours I'm getting paid on because I'm the one coaching and teaching the new people. And so I think it's a really fair system. And don't overcomplicate it, guys. It's simple. So as we move on a little bit here, there's different ways you can be part of Arbonne. So, you could just be a customer that pays full price, buy a couple of products. And again, you've got that 90-day money back guarantee. You might actually want to support Lottie and enjoy the products and be a preferred client. And that's someone who, for £10 in the UK and the equivalent in the other 6 countries we're in, is that you get 20 to 30% off with some special packs and some special offers, and just enjoy being a customer. And you've got the discount, you've got some free products with qualifying orders, free shipping with qualifying orders, and just enjoy. Or you could think, actually, I never want to run out of these products, and you might want to be a replenish me client with all of the above benefits, but it ships automatically every 30, 60 or 90 days, however it is you want those products to come, so that you're not worried about running out of your favorite things, especially if you're a green synergy elixir, protein, fistic person, whatever it happens to be. And you're going to run out of them more, whereas our skincare lasts a couple of months, 3 months on some things and more. But being a replenish me client, every fourth order, you will then get a £40 voucher, which when you go to shop, it will know and it will automatically deduct that extra £40 off at the end of checkout. Now, we're mainly talking about here being an independent consultant. And again, you get many of those other benefits of the money back guarantee, the extra discount, free shipping, etc. But what you really get on top of that is the earnings and bonus potential, which is the best success plan I have ever read. And trust me, I have read a few. So there are no caps on your earnings. Absolutely none. You can earn as much as you like by putting in the effort, and it is efforts based. So if you don't put in the work, you're not going to earn. But you can earn bonuses at every single level by meeting the criteria, and you can also earn incentive trips. I have been on some phenomenal incentive trips with Arbonne, and I couldn't even go on the first one I earned, and I didn't even know I had earned it. That's how non-smart I am. So if you're thinking you couldn't do this, if I can, you can. So at the second level out of four, your business is willable and you can will it up to six generations down. So let's just say you were earning 1,500 or thereabouts at that level, working part-time hours. That would be willed to your next family and up to six generations down. And we saw at the conference in Las Vegas a man whose mother had built the business to the top level and helped round about a dozen other people get to that top level. So his monthly income from Arbonne is super substantial. Just think of lots and lots of zeros and you've got it per month. Um, Results are different for everyone. Go to earnings.arbonne.com. Recognition and training. And a lot of people work 25 to 40 years and don't even get a carriage clock at the end of it. In Virginia, they don't even get a ham, apparently, and that is the gift in Virginia. So at every level of the business, you are recognized. The trainings are phenomenal. If you're someone who likes to speak on stage, you can be put forward to speak on stage, but the trainings are fun. And I know people that pay thousands and thousands of pounds to get the trainings that some we get for free, many we get for free, even at our global and local training conferences. The price is just minuscule compared to what we get. So if we move on to the next slide, Keely, be great. And so our success plan, as I said, is second to none. So we can earn money in different ways. So every time someone shops, if they don't want a discount, then we earn 35%. But I always like to set my clients up with a discount and they get 20 to 30%. And every time they shop, I get a minimum of 15%. So does someone who joins today. They will get that 15% when someone shops. So the other thing you can earn is you can earn an override, and that's like a coaching fee. It's a bit like a commission, same kind of thing, but you get paid on that for helping your team. And that is a wonderful way to earn. So if the more people you help, the more you will earn. Very fair in my mind. And then you get awards and bonuses at every single level by meeting the criteria. So what do they look like? So as I said, there are four levels in the business. The first level, and again, these titles are not geographical, district manager. And I'm just going to go over what I earned at those levels. So the earnings at those levels are roughly £1 to £500. That first level, I actually earned £800 by helping people. The second level area manager, roughly anything from £800 to say £2,500. My very first commission check at that level was 1,200, and again, results are different. Go to earnings.arbonne.com. And my last commission check at that was just shy of £4,000 because obviously I like to help a lot of people. The level that I'm at is regional vice president. Actually, it's executive regional vice president because I've got someone else on my team at my level. And the earnings at that level are anything from £2,000 to £8,000. And at that level, I have earned £8,000 and achievable by all. And that's often known as the white Mercedes level because by meeting the criteria, you can get a monthly bonus to drive either a white Mercedes or you can have the choice award and take a slightly lesser amount and get the cash. So you can get 600 and odd pounds if you want the white Mercedes and a bit less if you want the cash or a different car. The top level in Arbonne earnings have no cap, but if we just say £10,000 a month plus, and you can add as many zeros to that as the number of people that you want to help. So you can't reach those levels unless you're prepared to help someone else. And I absolutely love that. It's the fairest system I have ever seen. And the other thing is you can earn way more than the person who introduced you. And I have a team member at my level, and there was one month she did actually earn more than me. But here's the thing, I overtook the person who introduced me into the business quite early on, and I have overtaken several people in the middle, which has put me next to someone who is in Australia. So it just goes to show you, there is no unfair system. You can reach wherever you want. And if you work harder than someone, why should you not be paid more? Because a lot of people go into a job and it's not just 9 to 5 now. They might go in at 8 o'clock and they might leave at 8 o'clock in the evening and work 12 hours. And they'll have someone else that goes in, arrives at 10 and maybe leaves at 4, gets paid the same. But because they are conscientious, they go in earlier. And I think if you put more work in, then you deserve a lot more. So if we move on a wee bit more, that'd be great. And so this is a global opportunity. What do I mean by global? A lot of companies, you can only earn money in the company that you're with, in the country you're with. So you can't earn in other countries. For us, we are in the UK, the USA, Canada, Poland, Australia, and New Zealand. So I have customers in most of those countries, and I have had in the past team members and still have in some of those countries. And we have further expansion planned. So when I wake up in the morning, when my customers, let's just say in the USA, and I've got quite a few in the USA, have been shopping, and I go and look at my figures and stats, they have gone up while I have been sleeping. I think that is pure genius and I absolutely love it. And so this is not about who you know. You might not know someone in Australia, but you might have a friend down the road whose cousin has just moved to Australia. And you can say, hey, look, I've got a business that's in Australia. You were just saying your cousin in Australia is looking for more money. Could you connect us up? I'd love to help her. And again, there is no cap. The world is your oyster. And one of the things you want when you're looking at any business opportunity, you want a business with a consumable product. That means it gets used and it runs out and people buy it again and again. You want a high-end product. We're ultra prestige. We sit in the very top percent of products. You want a company that's global, but that hasn't fully globalized. You also want, when you're looking at a network marketing business, you want a company that's at least 5 years old or more. And we are heading towards 46 years, actually. We've just turned 46. So we absolutely tick all those boxes and a company that has no glass ceiling on the earnings. To me, it's genius. Anyway, moving on, if we just go on. So it's really, where do you see yourself? You might see yourself as a customer, and that's a great way to start. Something like 60% of customers upgrade to being consultants. Some of them just want a few extra £100 a month, and that's fine. If that's all they want, that's great. But if you're someone who likes to reach for the stars and beyond, you can do that. So starting your own business in the UK, it's £50 to actually get your website, your consultant ID, and all the back office support. But you obviously need products to do the job. You want to have some skincare, some nutrition, and things to share with your network and be authentic. And, it's all about helping others and helping them grow your business. You can then, the minute you're enrolled, you can participate in the incentives and any special programs, and you can earn as you learn. You will never know everything to get started. So I always say, just jump in, share what you love about the products, and then you can earn some different incentives along the way. I have got so much swag in my cupboard. I give a lot of it away to teams because my cupboards aren't big enough. Many of the team will have got some swag from me that I have earned. And again, you can go to earnings.arbonne.com. So if we move on just a wee bit more,
That's it.
then I will share. Well, if we just stop sharing the screen,
I will.
then
Hang on.
I love that. A vision board. Well, there you go. There's your vision. So let me just share a little bit about me, because I think it's always people's stories that resonate most with us. So I actually joined Arbonne because I wanted to have pension money, and I didn't want to be that old lady with the teeth falling out and not enough money for the dentist. And trust me, that costs you thousands and thousands as you get older. I didn't want to have wrinkly skin, and I didn't want not to be able to buy clothes and go on holiday and all the things that you need in retirement, and healthcare being super important. And the fact that we are a health and wellness business, and I I'm 65 in a few weeks. So that was really important. But what I absolutely know is the difference between this type of business and a traditional business. So at the age of 5, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I was really lucky because for 30 years I had my own fashion design, manufacturing, and retail business. And to the outside world, it probably looked like I had the perfect life. I was in London and Paris a lot. I had celebrity clients like J.K. Rowling, TV celebrities, radio celebrities, etc., etc. And people would see me going to amazing events, dressing up, thinking, oh, she just parties all the time. And I'm not saying I don't like a party or a very large gin and tonic. But what they didn't see was the fact that I was a hamster on a wheel. Yes, I had an amazing team that worked for me, and my accountant said having a business isn't hard, having staff that can do the work is. And so for me, what happened was I ended up going from 15 in-house staff down to 6 plus using outside manufacturers, but we were still producing the same. Well, something has to give when you're doing that. And it was my back. And I was wearing a back brace. I was on more painkillers than I care to mention. I was obviously at one point of that journey. I was perimenopausal, had lots of health issues, and I also had breast cancer. And when you're running a full-on business, that isn't easy. And it got to the stage where my chiropractor, who's my best friend, said, I can't fix you any longer. You have to make a change. So I decided after 30 years to wind up a business that I had loved. And interestingly, in winding it up, it cost me £250,000. So there went some of the pension money. So I definitely knew I needed something else for that pension pot. And I was at a girls' lunch, and somebody I knew well, when I asked what their plan B was, because it had all gone wrong with their early retirement package, she said, I've joined and become an independent consultant with a health and well-being business, so I'm going to be absolutely fine. And I said to her, are you using the products? And she said, yes, I've been using them for a month to 6 weeks. And I said, well, you and I have always used the same products, so I obviously need them because you're looking amazing. And she's 6 years older than me. And this is how stupid I am. So if you're thinking I can't do this business, I'm here to tell you can. And I said, do you think I could do this? I thought she had to go to Arbonne and ask if I could do it. I didn't know they were a network marketing business. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't try a product. And she said, yes, yes, you can do it with me. And I said, that's great. I said, is there a form? And before she answered, she's very disorganized. I said, well, if there is a form, you probably don't have it. I said, if it was me, I'd have the form in my handbag. And she said, yes, there is, because in those days it was a form. And I said, well, I said, I want to do it. I want to do it with you. So I joined. I'm not suggesting you do this. I didn't try the products. I didn't know where we're network marketing. I didn't know the success plan. I didn't hear anything. In fact, I didn't hear any of the information I have shared with you tonight, and Keely shared with you. I didn't hear any of that for a year in the business, but I got to the first level in 3 weeks. Again, results are different. Everyone has their own journey. Go to earnings.arbonne.com. In fact, it was less than 3 weeks. I think it was 2, because she just said if you get to the first level, you get an extra 8%. I said, well, how much do I need to do to get to the first level? And she wrote it down on a napkin. I went, right, I'm on it. And I just basically told my friends, no pitch, and said, look, these products are amazing. You don't want me to be getting younger and you stay looking the same. And they went, right, we'll have them. I mean, no finesse there, nothing. And then a year after, I saw a presentation on the business, and I went, oh my God, I can help other people earn money. So, you know what? I always am honest. And if I say I can do it, you can do it. Don't overthink it. Don't say what if. There's too many people in the graveyard who are there with the richest ideas, the things that they should have done, the things they should have actually just taken a chance on. Don't be one of those people. And here's the thing. You might be here in life, and the lifestyle you might want is over here. What else can you do to bridge that gap without giving up what you do? Because I don't know anything. And if you're already where you want in life, I take my hat off to you, and that's great. And you might not need the money, but here's the thing. We're on this planet to serve others, because service to others is the rent we pay for being on earth. So don't make it about you. If you're all good, that's fine. Great. But why not do something where you can help someone else? So I would just like to leave you with this. You can do nothing. You can walk away from this Zoom. You can stay poor and wrinkled. And I just say, I wish you well. And thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
And thank you. So, over to Lottie. So, if there's anybody that is listening to this after the event, and Lottie has invited you along, then please, 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 if you've got any questions, please reach out to Lottie, and she will help you in any way she can. And if there's questions that she can't answer, then we would be delighted to help as well. So, over
Thank
to
you,
you,
both of you. I went totally off script. I'll be better next time, I promise.
Well, it's the first time for everything. So thank you, and thank everybody for joining us. And I shall hit the pause button. So.